Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We're back today, man. We got new Mr. Ballen. Well, not new. We got another Mr. Ballen today, man. We got top 3 videos with disturbing backstories part 5. Let's see. Making all this noise, all this paper rumbling. I just told. Oh man, it's funny. It's funny because y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. We do. You alright? Barely. Y'all see barely here. I'll be telling her to get up and I'll do the video by myself, but she says
I am fine. Come on. You always making a scene.
Underneath your mic.
Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get,
No, she ain't all here, y'all.
I am here.
I said you ain't all
I
here.
am all.
Barely.
Come on.
But hey, man, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want the first part, you got to do it. Check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals.
Lock it in with a thumbs up.
But hey, let's hop into it, y'all. Let's check it out. Let's see what's about. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's get it.
Today, I'm going to share with you 3 progressively more disturbing stories, and at the end of each of them, I'm going to share with you the video that is famously associated with them. But before I get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you come to the right channel, because that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, the next time the like button asks you for a particular link, send them a link to Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up and disguise it as whatever it is they're looking for. Also, please subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories. A popular YouTuber named Dan Bell explores abandoned buildings and then uploads that footage to his very popular This Is Dan Bell page that has over 500,000 subscribers. Unlike other urban exploration YouTube channels, Dan is not trying to create scary content. In fact, many of his most popular videos are taken in buildings that haven't even been abandoned yet, like in a Kmart that's shutting down and all the shelves are empty, and he walks around and it's kind of eerie because it's this huge store that's now coming to an end. But again, it's not really scary. But amongst those popular videos, there is one that is horrifying, and it's called the Super Creepy Abandoned Asylum. One of the top comments on this video is from a verified YouTube account with over 1 million subscribers. They're called The Proper People, and they say this may be the creepiest urban exploration video I have ever seen. The video opens with Dan coming up to this huge old house that looks like nature is reclaiming it with all the vines and grass and everything overgrown all around it. And for the first minute and a half, Dan is just quietly walking around the perimeter of this building, and you don't really know what it is, besides obviously the captions given away. It's an asylum, but it doesn't look like an asylum. It looks like a random house in the middle of the woods. After about a minute and a half, Dan makes his way over to the side of this building, and he sees there are some stone steps that go down into a door that clearly feeds into the basement of this building. Dan walks down the stairs, he opens the door, and he walks into this hallway, and as soon as he goes in, because his camera had been filming in very bright sunshine outside, it takes a minute for it to focus on the hallway, which is totally dark. But once the camera focuses, you see all this old clothing strewn about on the ground, and the paint is peeling off the walls in every part of the building. When Dan filmed this, he was not out loud narrating as he walked around the building. Instead, while he was editing the footage, he must have recorded himself doing a narration, and that narration picks up as soon as he gets in the hallway and the camera has focused. He begins walking down this hallway, and you hear under his boots the crunch of broken glass. And as he's walking, you hear Dan's voice say, "This is a children's asylum that shut down sometime in the 1990s. It was briefly leased sometime in the 2000s, but for the most part, over the past 3 decades, this building has been totally abandoned." After he gives this brief history, which sounds like he's done this dozens of times on other videos, he pauses and says, "You know, Something really strange happened while I was filming inside of this building. He heard what sounded like someone running around on the top floor of this building. He's used to going into abandoned buildings and finding creatures, animals running around. That was not unusual. And so instinctively, he assumes it's got to be some animal that's taken up residence on the top floor. And so he doesn't worry about it. He ends up walking around the whole first floor before making his way upstairs. And he said when he got up there, he was expecting to see some animal or some sign of an animal living up there, but he didn't. He didn't see anything. It just looked like every other abandoned building. And after filming what he wanted to film, he eventually leaves the building and goes home. It wasn't until he loaded the footage onto his computer and began reviewing it that he noticed two specific instances while he was inside this asylum where clearly someone else is in the room with him. Dan speculates that perhaps a former patient has come back here and is living in one of the rooms upstairs. Here are the two segments from his video that show this kind of phantom person lurking in the shadows. In the first clip, keep your eyes on the door that is open leading downstairs. You'll see there is a shadow on the door that is being cast from whatever is standing at the top of the stairs just outside of our view. And at some point, as Dan is filming down the hall, that shadow vanishes down the stairs. In the second clip, when Dan walks into the room, look to the back left-hand side of the room at the door, specifically at the open hole where there should be a doorknob. You will see there is very clearly someone looking through the hole at Dan, and when Dan films this person, they run away.
Oh yeah.
Did you see the first one?
The first one, yeah, is a shadow figure. Like that one happened fast. This shot happened fast. And you hear when they do that you can hear it actually move. Mm-hmm. But also, do you believe it's haunted or you believe it's homeless people?
Good question. It could be.
See, like it could be a plethora of both.
Like someone could be living in the building as well. I mean, could be, and they scared. They're trying to see who you are, and they're like, "Oh shoot, somebody is in here." Is it the
police?
Yeah, let me get it. But the shadow on the door.
That could have been somebody else hiding in the light, because he didn't go in the room.
Yeah, he didn't go in the. I don't know. It could. Yeah.
From the clips we see, and I'll say this: when you go doing like these abandoned stuff, do people actually be alone? Like, I don't want to say he's making it up, but I'll say this: I'm not going to go and explore by myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense to go explore buildings and stuff by yourself. Cause didn't we see one where dude went into the empty building and exploring, and then dude came out with the gun? I think that's the one we had got a strike on, wasn't it? But not that clip, but it was another clip in there that was a little petty clip.
Probably so.
I think that was the video.
I know what you're talking about,
and dude had held him up at gunpoint.
The older man,
Yeah. And that's what I'm like I can't go into an empty building and want to go. Like, it got to be a group of us.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? More than two. Like, at the least 3 or 4. 3. You said what?
More than 3.
You think more than 3?
Mm-hmm.
What's the smallest the group should be then? About 4?
6.
Damn.
Oh, the smallest?
She said 6.
The smallest 4. The smallest 4. But
at first you said 6 though. I was like,
because that's what was in my head. I'm like, about 6.
That's 6 a lot of people though.
The more the merrier.
Then y'all gonna split up. Cause y'all gonna be like,
I was trying to make it an even number.
But y'all gonna split up with 6. They'll be like, man, let's split up. We go 3 and 3. If you go 4, be like, bro, I ain't splitting up 2 and 2.
But but
that 6 is a little too many of us.
Yeah, but 6 is a lot. Sometimes when it's a lot of people, things tend to, everybody not on one accord.
I think 4 is a
Stuff
good number.
happened. Oh, I gotta go back for such and such. No, such and such. So they put a little pep in their step. Oh no.
I think 4 is a good number.
Yeah, I won't be there no way, so it don't even matter who you go with.
But you see, he's in the daytime.
He's in the daytime, and he likes to do. This is what he likes to do.
So you won't even do it in the daytime.
Think stuff happened in the daytime. Who said stuff don't?
She said stuff happened in the daytime.
Who set you off limits just because it's the daytime?
See, stuff happened in the daytime. Oh shit.
I can't even hear myself talk.
Missy Beavers was a wife, a mother of 3 girls, and a hardcore fitness instructor. She lived in Midlothian, Texas, and she taught a fitness boot camp out of a local church at least 1 day a week, every week. Missy was extremely bubbly and outgoing, and everybody seemed to really like her, and her personality really shined on social media, where she was an avid Facebook user, often posting multiple times a day, every day of the week. Missy would post information about upcoming fitness classes, either that she was teaching or that she was simply participating in. She would also post her own fitness regimen and her diet. She was just very focused on health. She also shared fairly personal things, like pictures of her family and where they were going and what they were up to. And she left her personal cell phone right on her Facebook page. So clearly, Missy was fine with kind of being out there. On April 17th, 2016, there was a weather report that came in that the next day there was going to be really, really heavy rain, in particular in the morning. And Missy's class was scheduled for the next morning at 5 a.m. and she started getting calls and text messages from the people who were going to that class asking, is this class still going to happen? By 7:55 p.m. that night, so many people had asked about it that she decided to just put a public post on her Facebook page addressing the weather. And it just said, if it's raining, we're still training, no excuses, you are gladiators. On the post, she included directions of how to get to the church, where this class was going to be in the church, what time they were starting, and what they could expect. Later that night at 9:23 p.m., she did another Facebook post that said, going to bed, I have to get up tomorrow at 3:30. The next day at 4:16 in the morning, a street security camera picked up Missy pulling into the church's parking lot. Even though her class didn't start until 5 a.m., she liked to get there early to make sure the classroom was set up and to warm up a little bit and make sure she was super motivated and cheerful as soon as they walked in. The security cameras inside the church capture Missy walking in through the front doors at 4:20 in the morning. Then, just before 5 a.m., the first couple of students arrived at the classroom and they walk in to find Missy laying on the ground, bleeding from her head, totally unresponsive. They call 911, police and paramedics show up, and as soon as they get there, they pronounce Missy dead. Initially, there was some speculation that she might have fallen and hit her head, but they noticed all these puncture marks in her head that looked intentionally inflicted, like someone had struck her. And later, when they reviewed the security footage from inside the church, it was confirmed that she definitely was murdered. Earlier that morning at 3:50 a.m., so 26 minutes before Missy arrives in the church parking lot, an unknown figure wearing police tactical gear from head to toe breaks into the church. From 3:50 in the morning when they first get inside the church to 4:20 in the morning when Missy walks through the front doors, this unknown figure just kind of strolls casually up and down the halls of this church. It looked like they were carrying a hammer or perhaps a crowbar, and periodically as they're kind of casually walking down the hall, they would turn to a window of a door and they would break it with whatever they're holding in their hand, and then they would just keep walking on. Like there was no reason for them to break the window, they're just bored. And this was actually an important point that police would make about this footage. This person walking around does not appear to want to vandalize the church. I mean, they're breaking a couple windows, but they could have done a lot more damage to the building, and they didn't. They don't appear to be looking to steal anything. And in fact, later, police would confirm that nothing was stolen. What it looks like they're doing is just kind of wasting time. Like they have some clear objective for being here, but they can't do it quite yet. They're waiting for a trigger of some kind. And it would turn out that that trigger was Missy walking through those doors at 4:20 in the morning. As soon as Missy made her way into the classroom, the assailant followed her and proceeded to beat her to death with whatever they were holding in their hand. By the time police arrived a little after 5 a.m., the suspect was long gone. Initially, police believed it was going to be fairly easy to identify who killed Missy. The person on camera wearing the tactical gear had a very distinctive gait with their feet turned out and they walked with a bit of a limp and they had very slouched posture. And the police figured as soon as we put this surveillance footage out in the public domain, someone's going to come forward and say they recognize this person. But despite the hundreds of leads that poured in from people after watching this video saying, oh yeah, I know this person, Well, the police checked into all of them and they all checked out. Everybody had an alibi. And so years later, the police are still not able to identify who killed Missy or why. And so her case remains unsolved. Here is the security footage of Missy's killer casually walking around the halls, aimlessly smashing windows and opening doors, just waiting for Missy to show up.
Boy, he's slew-footed than a motherfucker.
What you said?
That's a distinctive wall.
It is.
That rifle, very slew-footed. You telling me ain't nobody... Somebody know who that is, dog.
Or what if one of the people that y'all did interview actually is the person,
and they just
they had a good alibi? Maybe somebody was like, "Yeah, this person, he's been here. He's been in his room the entire time." But you don't know, this person probably snuck out from 3:50 to 4:25 o'clock.
We done seen that
We've
a lot.
seen it happen
a lot.
And they are right there.
Even one of the most recent body cams with the 12-year-old. Remember, he snuck out. His mama said no, he was in it. And then and he was like, "Nah, I actually got up at like 3, 4 o'clock."
And
was it like 3 or 4 o'clock? It was in the middle of the night. Yeah. It was in the middle of the night.
Don't know.
She thought he was asleep in his room, but he had snuck out. But that happens a lot though. What if this a hitman? I will say this 100%. I do believe whoever that is, they were waiting for Misty. She was posting on the group platform. They're watching. Basically, you're telling somebody every move you make.
Like, yeah,
somebody,
they knew the class was at 5, so and they 9 times out of 10 she's going to get there before 5. They probably been watching her. Who knows?
Facts.
And like, know how you move, how you operate, and stuff like that. Yeah, I think this was definitely.
They ain't got no outside cameras. That's why, like, what?
Did they ride off on a bike? Did they ride up in a car? Was they on a motorcycle? Did they go leave on feet?
Hold on, churches also do be having outside cameras.
Yeah. I would think if you have all these inside, every you will have
especially
outside
in Fort
as well.
Worth, Texas. You know,
that's sad. Or even like
license plate readers,
or even like cameras within.
But this is 2016. I don't know how. How advanced certain cities were, but that's the reason why I'm like, at this point now, I'm glad that we do like because.
Some cities still don't get it right.
But no, I'm just saying some people are so like, oh, why they got cameras all over the place? It's for your protection.
Anything can happen.
Like
if something was to happen to you or your family, you appreciate those cameras. You appreciate that, and like God forbid something happens. But
I would like to say for instance this situation, if we do got like cameras on the street that's constantly watching and surveilling. We could have identified a car that pulled up, a bike or something pulled up. Whatever. How he had to get there some type of way, especially in all that gear.
Right.
So if the church had a camera that's identified the vehicle, those cameras on the street could have tracked that car and known where his whereabouts, what direction they coming from, what direction, you know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why I'm glad we are kind of beefing up the surveillance system. Because we have seen where that has been a significant way that they have solved crimes. Yeah. Like even one of Mr. Ballen's joints that happened in the UK. You remember they saw the person across the street, how they came in with the luggage, rolled the luggage out. And that's how they was able to identify basically by street surveillance. Yeah. And I don't see nothing being wrong with that though. Especially in times like that, for sure. Thanks. There gotta be something out there where they overlooking.
Like, what's the uniform recently purchased? Like, that
was a police tactical suit. So it's somebody who actually either have recently worked for. Like, you don't just buy stuff like that though.
I don't know. People have access to certain.
That's what I'm saying. Somebody probably stole the uniform.
They don't sit well with me.
Or it was a hitman. Who had life insurances on them. It's you can go down a whole rabbit hole with that. Cause that's not random. No. That was a targeted attack, some way.
In March of 2015, 68-year-old Tamara Samsonova was having renovations done to her home in St. Petersburg, Russia. A friend of hers, 79-year-old Valentina Ulanova, had heard about Tamara's renovations, and she approached her and said, "Do you want to stay with me while that's getting done?" Tamara was very thankful, immediately said yes, and as soon as she moved in, she immediately started picking up the slack by cleaning up the house and doing the dishes, and made sure she always cooked food for her friend because she wasn't able to pay rent. After a couple of weeks, the renovations on Tamara's home were complete, but Tamara didn't want to leave. She was really enjoying living with Valentina, and so she asked Valentina would it be okay if she stayed a little bit longer. Valentina was a little bit reluctant, but did ultimately say, okay, that's fine. A couple of months go by, and Tamara is showing no sign that she plans on leaving Valentina's home anytime soon, and Valentina is getting increasingly frustrated with that reality. Finally, in late July 2015, Valentina confronts Tamara and says, "You gotta go." And Tamara just says, "No, I'm not leaving."
What?
What do we always say, see?
That's why I'm be inviting folks. You look.
Hey, family,
No.
friends, nah.
Like, I be
You
wanting to
can't-
help people, but people be...
Hey, you seen it firsthand. Family would take advantage. I'm saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
you still don't know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about your uncle, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. They haven't been back, though.
But how many times your uncle went to jail behind trying to get people out of his house. And they young people, two young
out
people.
Out of his house. But
his own what? Great nephew?
Yeah, great nephew.
His great nephew.
And his girlfriend.
And he went to jail twice behind that situation? And how old your uncle? 70s?
In his 70s.
Come on.
And never been in no type of trouble with the law.
And got in trouble a lot behind
As a
trying
retired science teacher.
Very much so geeked out.
Like what? Like
and trying to get two people out of his home.
house. And they was like, well, we can't make them leave because they have mail coming here and da 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 da.
He's the only person to open his door.
The only person, because you know how people are and how they operate. And
as soon as they move in, talking about, nah, we ain't going nowhere.
Like, y'all, they literally tried to take over his house. And it was sad.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta say no. You gotta say no.
Is getting increasingly frustrated with that reality. Finally, in late July 2015, Valentina confronts Tamara and says, "You gotta go." And Tamara just says, "No, I'm not leaving." This causes a huge fight, but at the end of it, Tamara still doesn't leave. So for a couple of days, the women just do not speak to each other. The silence is finally broken on July 23rd when the women get into a fight about some empty cups in the sink that one of them was supposed to clean, but they didn't, and they fought about whose responsibility it was to do the dishes. And then, of course, the whole subject comes up again of Valentina saying, "You shouldn't even be here, you need to leave." And Tamara's like, "No, I'm not going to leave." And so another big blowout fight happens. But at the end of this fight, Tamara finally concedes and says, "Okay, I get it. I need to leave. Just give me a couple of days and I'll be out of your hair." Immediately, the tension is gone in the room. They're no longer fighting. And Valentina is happy that she's finally going to get her apartment back. And Tamara says, "Look, I'll make us dinner tonight. I'll go out and get some food." Tamara leaves the apartment and goes to a pharmacy and gets a whole bunch of sleeping pills. And then she gets the ingredients to a particular salad that she knows Valentina really likes. She goes back, she starts making dinner. And as she's making this salad, she crushes up the sleeping pills and mixes the powder with the salad dressing and gives that to Valentina. And Valentina, who's very hungry, eats the whole salad and doesn't notice anything is wrong. As soon as Tamara was sure Valentina had eaten the entire salad, Tamara just goes up to her room and goes to bed. A couple hours later, at about 2 a.m, she goes back down to the kitchen and she sees Valentina is passed out on the ground. Tamara goes up to her and sees that she's still breathing, which was a disappointment because she wanted her to die from taking all these sleeping pills. But it doesn't matter. She takes out her hacksaw that she had borrowed from the neighbor earlier in the day and proceeds to butcher Valentina. And she makes special care as she's cutting her into pieces to remove her lungs and not damage them, because Tamara had a taste for human lungs. It was actually her favorite food. She took Valentina's head and she put it into a big pot of water and began boiling that to eat it. The rest of her was cut up into as small of pieces as she could get them and then wrapped in a shower curtain and placed in various bags.
Hell, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because, oh my fucking...
She got a taste for human lungs. How you know you got a taste for...
Oh.
How you know you got a taste for human lungs? Like, this is... What was the...
Russia.
No, not where it was at.
Oh.
Like the little... I was trying to say... I know it was Granny something. Something Granny. What he be putting on the screen. Because I'm like, this not her first go-round.
This is
Baby,
Granny.
she... Don't worry about it, child.
Oh, freaking.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
What? Oh, my freaking...
And keep in mind, she wasn't dead.
No.
She wasn't even dead when she did this.
Well, at least she was asleep.
Man, f- that.
And she was asleep to the point she can't wake up.
I don't care. The woman still had a pulse, man.
I know.
That don't make it no better.
Oh, no, she knew what she was doing. She wasn't trying to kill her from the sleeping pills. She was just trying to knock her out. Because if she had died, people just think about it. They like this shit fresh. If she had died, the lungs and stuff would have. They like the joint like animals. Animals don't. They like you to still be breathing. They like to warm them so they can't run and they come back. They like they should be warm. They don't like the cold. You gotta think about it.
I don't want to think about it.
Shit nasty, bro.
Evil.
What?
That is evil.
Taste for
Crazy.
human lungs. It was actually her favorite food. She took Valentina's head and she put it into a big...
Her favorite food? Mine's pizza. Hey.
You say yours. Like what? How do you know that that's your favorite food? You crazy freaking bat. How do you know that?
I just know pizza. What's your favorite food? Chicken?
I like a little bit of... Why would you say chicken? When have I ever said chicken was my favorite food?
You use fried chickens.
You know my favorite food.
Oh, fried catfish. My bad. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know why I said fried chicken. So you know reason why catfish is your favorite food. I know why pizza is my favorite food. Nigga, I ain't never heard nobody say lungs my favorite food. Yo. Human lungs.
Human lungs.
This is crazy, bro. Damn.
For human lungs. It was actually her favorite food. She took Valentina's head and she put it into a big pot of water and began boiling that to eat it. The rest of her was cut up into as small of pieces as she could get them and then wrapped in a shower curtain and placed in various bags. As Valentina's head and lungs are being cooked on the stovetop, Tamara begins making dozens of trips from the apartment, down the stairs, out the front door, all the way down to the lake that was near their property where she would dispose of the body parts before coming back and getting more.
It was Valentina's property.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
She gonna eat the head. And the eyes just looking at you like this.
Maybe she like that too. The tongue.
And also, imagine how many bodies she done had.
Imagine how
for her to know that I love the lung.
Like that's my favorite part. I had every part, but that's my favorite.
God. What it tastes like chicken? Nah.
Heck no.
Valentina's hips and legs were apparently too heavy to haul all the way down to the lake, so she took them to a nearby forest. Tamara's final trip sees her carrying a big silver pot, inside of which is Valentina's head, or at least whatever is left of it after Tamara was done eating most of it. 4 days later, on July 27th, a young couple that was living in the same apartment complex as Tamara and Valentina were out for a walk with their dog out near that lake. And as they're walking, their dog takes off running and stops in front of this huge bag that it's sniffing and pawing and trying to open. And the owners of the dog try to call it back, but they can't get it to get away from this bag. And so the owners walk over and they kind of poke the bag. They can see it's pretty heavy and they open it up and they find a human torso, and it's Valentina's. When the police show up, the first thing they do is they go to Valentina's apartment and they're surprised to find Tamara living there. And they're kind of sensitive with her and they say, your friend, your relative was just found deceased and we need to look around the apartment. Tamara was completely indifferent. She did not care. They had just discovered her body and she didn't care that they were searching the apartment. It was like she knew someday this was going to happen. During the search, the police officers quickly found...
She just had to be redhead. They said the redhead's something serious, okay?
Oh, bro, see.
I had my encounters with a redhead before.
Have you?
Yes.
Where?
The one I used to work with her evil self.
Which one?
Do you want me to say her name?
Sure, it was, nigga, I don't give a
Man.
Oh, was she that? She wasn't that crazy.
Yes, she was. She was
She
crazy.
wasn't this crazy.
She wasn't that crazy, but she was. I just said I had my run-ins with her.
Remember I told you my childhood friend? He was redhead.
He was sweet, Bunny.
The one that used to call all the time.
He was sweet.
That's the one I told you now. Said he got a mixed daughter.
Yeah.
And I said, what the fuck? I said, I ain't never think he like black women.
No, but all redheads not. I went to school with a nice redhead. I just be playing.
Hey, ain't gonna
but
hold you.
they do be a little.
Some redheads do.
Some
be
of
crazy,
them do be
bro.
a little.
Y'all know. Black, white, whatever. They redhead.
It don't matter.
They be a little. They look. You know what I'm saying?
Look at her.
Ain't all there.
It was like she
Good
knew
girl.
someday this was going to happen. During the search, the police officers quickly find blood all over the bathroom and in the kitchen. They even find the hacksaw she used that's got blood on it. And they find Tamara's diary that's sitting next to this book about black magic. And the police are horrified when they see that the diary contains meticulous notes that Tamara had kept of all of the ritualistic killings she had perpetrated over the past 20 years.
20?
14 of them. And almost all of them were motivated by Tamara's desire to cast spells that she apparently was reading about in these black magic books she had. And virtually all of these spells required human flesh or other human components. And so she would kill these people, she would use their bodies to cast these spells, and then afterwards she would consume them. Not because that had anything to do with the spell, but
Just
because she liked the way
it.
people tasted, in particular, human lungs. The police arrest Tamara, who doesn't put up a fight, and she says, yep, you got the right person, I did all this. While Tamara was on trial, she seemed like she was in a great mood. She told the judge, I hope you give me a really severe punishment. I expect to die in prison. She was seen blowing kisses to reporters.
Oh.
It was like she was just totally out of touch. Or maybe she literally knew this was going to happen and just didn't care anymore. Tamara, who would be nicknamed the Granny Ripper by newspapers over the course of this trial, was given a life sentence, and to this day, she is still sitting in jail. Here is the surveillance footage of Tamara disposing of Valentina's body, as well as some shots of Tamara during her trial.
Oh yeah, them bags heavy. You see how she... And she is a little granny. She
Look
walking
at
and
her.
everything.
Wow. That is.
How she get away for so long?
Look at the pot.
So what you do with the head, girl?
Look at her.
Oh yeah, she crazy.
Them eyes
So that's going to
look
do it,
evil.
guys. Let me know what you thought of these 3 stories in the comments, and I will pin the best comment at the top of the comments.
Yeah, she crazy.
You see them eyes, them dark old demon eyes.
Boy, she beyond crazy though. I ain't gonna hold you. She insane.
That's why I said I'm putting them past people. Old, young, middle age. You're like, oh, she's just a sweet, innocent old granny. She couldn't do. Girl,
That's
please.
a damn lie.
She done had years of experience. Yeah.
More than you.
What you said?
Hey man, y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. That was crazy, man.
There's some peace to Valentina too, because that's a terrible way to go out.
But as always, man, y'all know how it goes. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
See her, Nicole.
we are
Kid and C.
See.
Come on, just
You
keep
got an
rolling.
appetite too, huh?
You crazy.
I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
See her, Nicole.
We are?
Kid and C.
We are.
Peace.
Ain't no time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar.